In this video, I'm going to discuss about threats which are increased due to coronavirus pandemic. We will also look at the increased surveillance by the various governments due to COVID-19, and in the end of this video, we'll see a small list of do's and don'ts to keep yourself safe from the scams. So let's start. Cyber criminals are capitalizing on the fear people have about coronavirus pandemic. They are exploiting this in many different ways. Phishing and scam websites themed around pandemic are exploding on the web. Some reports estimate thousands of new domains cropping up every day. In Feb, around 13,000 COVID-related domains registered in just one day. Most of these sites are being used to host phishing attacks, distribute malware-laced files, or for financial fraud for tricking users into paying for fake COVID-19 cures, supplements, or vaccines. Social engineering is another way hackers are exploiting this opportunity. The shift to remote work has been noticed by cybercriminals, and now they hit with a tailored scam. Sometimes posing as an internet service staff, they try to reach users to get hold of sensitive information. And then there is smishing. Phishing is typically an email scam that wants users' personal details and password, but it's also done by other means. For example, smishing uses mobile phone text messages to obtain sensitive information. Recently, there are attacks on the hospitals too. Such attacks always pose a potential threat to the health and safety of patients, but are especially horrific during a pandemic that is straining the world's healthcare system. In general, there are three kinds of fraud and scam schemes. First is online fraud. Scammers create fraudulent websites, e-commerce platforms, social media accounts, and emails claiming to sell and deliver medical products, and victims are then asked to pay via bank transfer, PayPal, or Bitcoin. Then there are phone calls. This is a social engineering attack and the methods can be infinite. For example, a fraudster pretending to be a relative currently being treated at hospital for coronavirus contacts the victim over the phone, and victim is then asked to pay for the cost of the medical treatment. Then there is phishing. Emails, links related to the pandemic are sent by criminals claiming to be health authorities with the aim of tricking victims into connecting to a specific web page and to log in with their real email address and password. Scammers then use their credentials to access sensitive information and potentially to steal their money. Have you observed any of these kinds of scams in the recent times? Then let us know about it in the comment section below. Next is increased surveillance. As the novel coronavirus continues to spread around the world, more governments are relying on mobile carrier data to track everything, from patients who should be isolated to how well people are following limited movement rules. On March 16th, Israel authorized the use of cell phone location data to track the virus by tracking the movements of patients who have tested positive and to determine who should be under quarantine. Mobile carriers in the European Union are sharing data with health authorities in many countries to track isolation or quarantine status. Other countries are using location data from cell phones to track the pandemic in different ways, from an app called AC-19 in Iran to China's tracking system that sends information to law enforcement officials, to Taiwan's electronic fence that alerts authorities when a quarantined person moves too far away from his home. Perhaps the most aggressive use of cell phone location tracking is happening in the South Korea, where the government has created a publicly available map from cell phone data that people can use to determine if they have come into contact with someone who has been infected with the novel coronavirus. Then we have facial recognition technology, which is being adopted globally as a way to track the virus's spread. Chinese biometric company Hanwon recently updated its facial recognition technology so that it can identify users even when they are wearing masks. Hanwon's facial recognition technology can be connected to a temperature sensor measuring subjects' body temperature while also identifying their face and name. Others are pitching their own variations of this application. Overall, the thought process behind these tracking systems for the coronavirus makes sense, particularly as stories crop up about super spreaders who fail to isolate themselves. But privacy experts worry that in the rush to implement COVID-19 tracking capabilities, important and deep rooted issues around data collection and storage, user consent, and surveillance will be brushed under the rug. Do you think these kinds of surveillance are good or bad in the long term? Let me know your views in the comment section. In the last, let's see what are do's and don'ts for the prevention from these scams and keep yourself safe. Avoid opening any suspicious email and avoid clicking on any unverified coronavirus related links which are circulated on social messaging apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, or Facebook. Use strong passwords and multi level authentication options for all your social media and banking activities. Keep all your software updated, including antivirus and firewalls. It is also important that you educate your family, especially your children and elders, about how to stay safe online. Always be vigilant and check the credentials of charity fund before donating any money. In the last, if you become a victim, ensure that you alert the appropriate authority immediately. COVID-19 has changed the world of cybersecurity in two ways. First, by massive exploitation of fear using the phishing scams, and second, by increasing the surveillance system. So far, technology has not been much helpful in preventing the spread of coronavirus pandemic, and the virus may end up helping some governments set up surveillance systems that will live years after the current outbreak has died down. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked, please press the like button, subscribe and share my videos. It would be great motivation for me. You can also follow me on Twitter or Instagram at SecureNetHandle. Thanks a lot.